Tune in and be part of the conversation only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Everybody, you say ayakata. Everybody, ayakata. And now you see, you are talking like white man. White man, when you talk small. Speak. No, man. African, we talk with black man, talk with all our mouths, man. Everybody, ayakata. Ayakata. Okay, let's go now.
What is health? It's more than the absence of illness. It's the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. But let's delve deeper. Health is the heartbeat of life. It's the rhythm that keeps us moving forward. The pulse that echoes our vitality. It's a symphony of balance and harmony, resonating in every aspect of our existence. Health is a silent conductor, orchestrating the dance between the body and mind. It's the energy that propels us towards our dreams and aspirations. It is the foundation upon which we build our futures. So, what is health to you? Join me, Kofi Bartels, this and every Thursday for Health Thursday, 8 a.m. on the Morning Crossfire as we explore important issues affecting your health. Only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back from the break. Of course, we have the news. Before then, we had a newspaper review. It's the Morning Crossfire. I'm Kofi Bartels. Today is Health Thursday, and on Thursdays, we take care of ourselves. We take care of our health. We take care of your health. Today will be no different. Today, we're looking at adverse childhood experiences, something the health professionals call ACE. ACE, adverse childhood experiences. What exactly do we mean when we say adverse childhood experiences? It's something we'll have a guest doctor on the program today to talk about it, and she'll really break it down for us, because it's something that we all need to be aware of. It's something that we all need to be concerned about. It's something we all need to be involved in eradicating all from our society, I think is the way we put it. Dr. Nimi Ekere is a consultant family physician, and of course, she'll be talking about these adverse childhood experiences. But if you're listening this morning, have you had anything that you can point to say as a child you had an adverse experience? Growing up, you had an adverse experience. I'd like you to call 0201-277-0993, and you can share with us. 0201-277-0993. And you can share with us. Also, a number to call again. You can call 0201-465-7190. That's our number for our female listeners. 0201-465-7190. Now, I was talking to our guest a couple of weeks ago, or over 2 weeks ago, I think, some time ago, maybe even last month, when she broke this down for me. You know, it's like, Kofi, this is an issue in our society. Parents need to be aware of it. Families need to be aware of it because it affects children. She told me that these are experiences that are not good for children. Those between the ages of 0 to 17, that's what I consider children. And she tell me if I'm correct when she comes in. You know, these are traumatic experiences that occur, or events that occur in a child's life. So a child is the one who is not yet 18, that can have a lasting impact well into adulthood. Some of you listening may have discovered one or two things that you do, or one of the things that happen to you, or you experience, that you can trace to your childhood, to a traumatic experience or event that has had a lasting impact on you. You know, things like verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, household dysfunction, exposure to domestic violence, and more. And more. I didn't know there was a name for this thing until I spoke to this doctor. And when she was telling me, I was like, almost everybody has one in this part of the world. Almost everybody has one adverse childhood experience or the other. How do you deal with it? How do you ensure that it doesn't affect you negatively to an extent that it will be harmful to you as an adult, post 18 years and above? You know? I mean, some, like I said, it could be, even household dysfunction. She broke it down for me weeks ago, and I almost sobbed because I could point to one or two things from my own experience as a child that popped up in one way or the other. Hey, there's nothing to be shy about. Yeah. Is it parents not agreeing with each other? Is it parents separating or divorcing, or parents fighting? Was that traumatic for you? I mean, I want you to break it down. When the doctor is here, she'll give us some more. Please call 0201-277-0993. 0201-277-0993. And 0201-465-7190. She told me that, even words. And I think maybe it's affected how I even relate to my daughter, since I had this doctor say this thing to me in person, on a private call. 99.3, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
This is Emmanuel from Shagam.
Emmanuel from Shagam. You're one of the first people I've heard since I came on this station call it the name it's meant to be called, not Shagamo. In fact, someone I heard someone say it's actually Sagam or Shagam.
Shagamu, there is the U.
Do you pronounce the U? Is it Shagam or Shagamu?
Most people call it Shagam, so I think that's what everyone calls it. So
okay, because someone told me Shagam. Someone says Sagam.
Yes.
Okay, Maro, yeah. Have you had any adverse childhood experiences that you, as an adult...
Yeah. The issue of the ACE.
All right, Emmanuel, you have to call back. The network has interrupted. I do not know what happened there. Please call back. 99.3. Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
All right, who do we have?
Yeah, I'll take it from.
Okay, we've lost your call as well. Is there a call on this line? Tosi? Is that... Okay, we lost that. 99.3. Okay, please keep the calls coming in. When you call and you ask for your name, you can give the operator your name, the call screener, and then just be patient, okay? She'll put you through. 99.3, good morning. Why am I losing the calls from the general line? Is it raining? All right, the WhatsApp number is 08095975805, 08095975805. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome. Who's on the line, please?
Yeah, this is Martin.
Martin's listening from where?
Yeah, she's from Lekki.
Okay, please go on. Martin's.
Yes, I also passed through a lot too in my life. Because I came up a polygamy home where my dad had 2 wives. So I didn't have it rosy at all. It was hard on me. And that made me to choose a lot of wrong paths in my life today that I don't even like at the end of the day. So I thank for you guys for bringing up this program. It's wonderful. Thank you so much, man.
All right.
And, yeah.
All right. So before you go, I guess the doctor will tell us how to cope with it, overcome it. But you're saying you came from a polygamous home, and it was traumatic for you. Is that what you're saying? That experience of life was hard, right?
Yes.
Can you
hard.
tell us what happened, as a child?
My mom was divorced from my father. My dad was supposed to take care of us. Maybe I grew up my dad. I would have gone to school properly. But my mom took us away from my dad. He was the one looking after us. She was not having chance to sit at home and take care of us. She was always going from business here and there. She can take us, if we were somewhere, maybe we were in Kaduna today, we start school from Kaduna. Tomorrow we are leaving Kaduna, we are going to Abuja. The next 2 years we are going somewhere. So we didn't have time for education. And boy, she left us for more than years he didn't come to us. We were just suffering under people that we were staying with. They were not even family to us. They would keep waiting for her. They were suffering us. They were exposed to so many things. You know, these guys, they thought they were doing us bad, though, but for me, they were training me because that helps me, though, today to be strong and move on today. I didn't they didn't do that for me. I didn't know what kind of person I would have been. So
Yeah.
it was really hard for us.
Did you go back to your dad's house? Did mom come back for you?
Yes, I will.
No,
But
did
for
you?
now,
I mean, at what time did mom come back for you when when you were with these other people? Did you go back to your dad's house?
yeah, and my dad later retired from the military and came back to look for us.
Okay. Do you think?
Came back to look for us.
What do you think? Do you blame your mom for taking you away from your dad? On hindsight,
Yes, I did.
You blame her.
I didn't they accept the way they were always fighting. They always fighting, every time fighting. I didn't even know. So that was what separated them. And I blame my mom because I didn't she allowed us. If she wanted to go, she would have gone and left us with my dad. And then my dad would have trained out. Fathers have more money to train their children than the mom. Because the mother, sometimes they don't even have time for the children. But fathers, I didn't grow my dad. I would have have better education than my mom.
I understand. I mean, I've had a similar experience, so I can relate deeply. I can deeply relate. My own is that I know my mom loved me. Parents separated at some point. I don't know what happened. But growing up, they became friends again. And I had the chance to take care of both of them and all that. So I was going to ask you if you find how this is affecting you now in your adult life. You understand how it's affecting you in adult life. Have you been able to pinpoint? Because that realization is really, I think, when the doctor comes in, she'll have to tell us. That realization, I think, is a victory to realize. Okay, this character, this trait, this pain, this sorrow, or this feeling I have is connected to my experience as a child. And then, okay, is it affecting me negatively or not? So I can't wait for the doctor to get here. Unfortunately, Lagos and rains and all that affected her. I can imagine she must have been, working all through yesterday because a doctor in this country is not easy. All right. So please keep your calls coming through. Some of you were flogged. Like you were flogged like you were in the labor camp. Maybe that affected them. Like my father never really flogged me. Only once. I remember my dad flogging me, like give me a serious flog. And that's because I took sides. In the disagreement with him and my mom. I took sides. So, but it's so interesting how adults, and I remember all these things with nostalgia. When they grow older, they just make up and then they forget everything. Maybe they become Christians and then they repent, change, and all that. So for you, I mean, what has it been? Please keep your calls coming through. If you don't want to mention your name, you can remain anonymous, and then of course you can go ahead and then talk about it. Okay, but our guest is going to be giving us, the tips and the ways to overcome the effects of adverse childhood experiences. 99.3, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, welcome. What do we have online, please?
Yeah, my name is Malachi. I'm calling from Malta.
All right, Malachi, welcome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. When you are talking about childhood trauma, I'm also wondering whether suffering is part of the trauma.
Suffering, right?
Yeah, suffering, because childhood suffering is much in the black world. For example, me, we are 7 of us, 7 children. We used to go to hawk in the market, go to the farm, go to the bush to fetch firewood, go to the stream 4 a.m. in the morning to go and fetch water. So I'm wondering, I need a perspective on your guest, because literally all of us, are grown up now, well adjusted, contributing to society. In fact, I believe we are the best on the planet. So I'm wondering whether this kind of childhood experience can be said to be traumatic. Of course, some people call it child abuse, but we are well adjusted and we are happy people. We are all married and with successful families and social businesses and contributing to society. So I'm wondering, what is your perspective.
Okay.
Especially from your guest. Thank you very much.
That is a good question. When she comes in, we'll ask her. But I also want to ask you. I'm not an expert in these things. I'm just a human being who knows one or two things about life, just like you. Do you feel like there's any sort of trauma? Do you have any trauma from your experience? Selling on the street, hawking, and doing child labor and all that. Do you feel anything like you feel some pain, some sadness?
I don't feel any trauma really, because you know that somebody has to be trained to understand what trauma is.
Mm-hmm.
You know that some women are sexually abused, but they don't know that they are sexually abused.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody suffering from childhood trauma ought to know what trauma is before he says he's suffering from trauma or suffered trauma. In my own case, I wasn't feeling traumatized. And right now, in perspective, looking back at my past, I'm not feeling any trauma there. You're just suffering. You're suffering.
Okay. So I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you. I mean, I left the comfort of my father's home to go be with my mom, and at some point, because of the disagreement between both of them, like that guy said, life wasn't too easy, and I saw another part of life. We're trying our best to survive, but that experience, that's why I told him I understand what he's going through. It made me really strong. Like there's no way I can't enter.
Yes. And then the issue of flogging.
So, yeah.
Of course, we are thoroughly flogged at home and at school. Thoroughly.
Okay. And do you feel any because what I was going to say is that sometimes people like you and I who went through hardship in life, okay?
Yes.
Sometimes expect every other person to be the same. And we sometimes we take it out on them when they can't be as strong as we are. Like me, I can do anything. I can go anywhere, I can do anything. But not everyone is like that.
Yes. I can do anything. I've been to every part of Nigeria. People are afraid. I'm not afraid. I've been bitten by a snake. I've been stung by a scorpion.
I've been stung by bee. But I know people who have never been. But do you think it makes you a bit less sympathetic or empathetic to people who are not like you? And you're a bit hard. You're a bit hard on them, because I'm very hard.
Exactly. Me, I'm not hard on people.
Okay.
I'm easygoing, and I don't think it made me less empathetic, because I'm really involved. I'm involved in people's lives. I promote love and compassion and all of that. I'm not feeling.
Have you told your children before, like, you have to suffer because I suffered? Because they told me too. Some people say you have to suffer because I suffered.
No, I've not told the children such a thing.
Okay. Have you
have an easy life?
Have you? Some parents who go through this kind of sufferings that you go. I'm not an expert. Just my observation. Sometimes over pamper their kids because they don't want them to experience that thing. There's something
It's true. It's true. In my own case, or in our own case, we are not over pampering our children. We more or less give them nearly the same thing we had, and the glories of hard work and all of that. Study your books, insist on having regimented life and all of that, and occasionally flogging. So I don't think.
Oh my God! All right. So you're saying that when she comes to ask if all these things constitute some it depends. I think it depends on you as a person. How it is.
That's why that brings me to the. I really want your expert to talk about it.
Thank you.
Is there something genetic about these things? Because some people went through what we went through. In fact, when you see them today, you know that they had childhood, traumas, and they were abused. But we don't feel the same. I'm wondering whether behavior had something to do with genetics.
All right. I think it's a good question. When our guest comes in, we'll go. I mean, someone like me. I mean, and I'm sure I've seen very terrible experiences, but I don't feel any way. I don't feel sad. I feel it's just part of life, and it's nothing there, So we are the strong generation, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your time.
Welcome.
Interesting,
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah. All right, let's go pay some bills. We'll be right back, and then we'll take some more of your thoughts, okay?
Now so I did on my phone. Now a message enter my phone. Fiam. I can't click am. Fiam. Now so my money for account go. Fiam. Hey. Hey, if to say na Airtel you dey use, dem for first alert you before you click am. Airtel dey identify spammers, then alert dem customers with AI-powered service to make sure say you no fall mugu for wuruwuru scam messages. No charges, no subscription needed. Me sef dey go join Airtel. Fiam.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
This taste na banger, this taste na creamy rich, this taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1. Thickness, enjoyment, yumminess, happiness, delightfulness, deliciousness, smoothness. This taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1.
Enjoy more creamy richness with the new Nescafe Original 3-in-1 in the new pack. That's strong, finish strong.
In the kitchen game, there are players and then Agba Ballers, MVP, Player of the Year, 10-0, no rival. Become an Agba Baller with the new improved Maggi chicken flavor, made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric to bring out your top game in the kitchen. Elevate the taste of your everyday dishes with delicious rich chicken flavor. Oh yeah, let's go.
New Maggi chicken flavor, my game changer.
This is Nigeria, where every new day brings a fresh chance to dream bigger, push harder, and live confidently. But true confidence is more than hope. It's knowing that no matter where you are, no matter who you are, you're protected, empowered, and ready for the journey ahead. At Sanlam Alliance, we believe confidence isn't just for a few, it's the right of everyone. That's why we have come together, uniting the strength of a Pan-African giant and a global leader to give you the financial protection and solutions you need to succeed. Because when we come together, we protect more, we achieve more, and we all rise together. Sanlam and Alliance is now Sanlam Alliance. Sanlam Alliance. Live with confidence.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need, natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
Mama, if you see how to screw up that toilet, it clean.
If it look clean, but if you no use Hypo toilet cleaner, germs go still yakpa.
No gree for germs. Protect your toilets every day with Hypo toilet cleaner.
Remember the name Arenas Plus. When malaria strikes, Arenas Plus. Remember the name Arenas Plus. When you feeling down, Arenas Plus.
Arenax Plus is the name to remember when you want to beat malaria with ease. Arenax Plus is a combination of artemether and lumenfantrine and is effective in the treatment of malaria in adults and children. So the next time malaria strikes, remember the name. Arenax Plus beats malaria with ease. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see a doctor. Available in pharmacies near you. Arenax Plus is a quality product from Swiffer.
Hey, rewards don't land. When I buy airtime and data on any network,
I get up to 10% cash back.
I pay my NEPA, DSTV, or StarTimes and call
3% cash back.
Now so, Smart Cash back, don't get reloaded.
And they load my wallet.
Hey, it's the Smart Cash back reloaded. Top up airtime or data on any network and get up to 10% cash back. Or pay your electricity or cable TV bill and get 3% cash back sharply. Only on Smart Cash. No dull yourself. Download the Smart Cash app or dial *939# to start today. Terms and conditions, Deja.
See, everybody with him own wahala. Every day comes with its own version of challenges, and you have to be ready to face face them, because only then can you move on to the next. That's why I never miss my breakfast. Scratch that. My peak breakfast, with the nutrients and energy I need to face each day, one challenge at a time.
Every day is a good day to power on with a peak breakfast. Have you had your peak? Reach for your peak.
Okay, so this is your total. Do you need anything else?
Yeah, I would like to pay for the person at the back. In fact, add one pack of Malta Guinness.
Guy, I won't give you my number. Why are you paying for me?
I just feel like doing good. I don't need a reason to share goodness.
Goodness is not just an expression, it's a way of life. So share the goodness with someone today.
Bro, one for me too, Abby.
Yes, so one cold Malta Guinness for you too.
Malta Guinness. Enjoy a world of good.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. We're still talking adverse childhood experiences. And of course, I did my best to try and remember what our guest had told me when we had a tete-a-tete before this program. But she's here, so she'll give us a real professional definition. And of course, take your questions, the ones that have been asked before now, the ones that are yet to be asked. I want to say very good morning to our guest, Dr. Nimi Ekere. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Kofi, for having me, and sorry for coming in late.
No, it's okay. You gave me the reason you came abreast of what's happening. You doctors, we owe you all a lot, because you put your life on the line.
Thank you.
Some doctors lose sleep, and people don't realize you guys don't sleep. So it's good to have you. Dr. Ekere, happy birthday in arrears.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. And she's a consultant family physician. She's a child advocate and author with about 2 decades of medical experience. She has a special focus on chronic metabolic disorders, aesthetic medicine, and adolescent health, and currently heads the adolescent medicine clinic at LASU. That's the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. The adolescent medicine clinic. That show that now gives you an indication as to why she's in a good position to talk about adverse childhood experiences. She is a fellow of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Family Physicians, a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants with a distinction in time management from London Graduate School. She is the founder of Smile and Shine Children's Foundation, which champions the mental and sexual well-being of children, particularly in underserved communities, which is very important. She's the author of the 4 best-selling books on child sexual abuse.
5.
Oh, now 5. Yeah, there's one that I've been seeing on your status. Okay. All on child sexual abuse.
No, navigating adolescents.
Okay. This is a rarely covered area by doctors. I find there was something like family medicine, until I met you. So now 5 books, 2 of them which are compulsorily used in the basic education certificate examination, also known as Junior WAEC, but it's actually BECE in River State. Her advocacy work has been featured on platforms such as the BBC, Nigeria Info, okay? And she was named one of the top 30 most inspiring women by New York City Journal in 2022. Dr. Nimi Ekere, it's good to have you. Thank you very much for your time.
Good to be here.
All right. This topic, we need like 1 week or even 1 month to discuss it with no adverts, But what are adverse childhood experiences? I used the word trauma when I was trying to just give my own layman's definition. But you are here. What are adverse childhood experiences?
You're correct. I listened to everything you said, and you're very correct. I like that you put it in a way that was simplified.
That's because we spoke.
Yes.
You explained everything.
Yes. So adverse childhood experiences are potentially traumatic events that occur in children, typically children less than 18 years old, and they include abuse. By abuse, I mean emotional, physical, and sexual abuse, and then neglect, emotional and physical. So you could neglect your child emotionally, and you could neglect them physically. So neglect might not just be taking them to live somewhere else. You could be with the child, but the child's emotional needs are not met. So you could affection and attention. That's emotional. So when your child is lacking your attention and affection, and then physically when they lack shelter, clothing, or sometimes you don't live with them, you just take them, like we see people have 10 children and distribute them to different relatives or even people that they don't know. The last is family dysfunction. So incarceration of a close family member, say the parents, domestic violence. Of course, when a child witnesses that for so long, it affects them, and separation. So many things that affect the family, this family functionality. So these constitute ACEs, and as we speak, the public WHO and CDC have declared ACEs a public health crisis. This is because it doesn't just affect the mental health or well-being of the child, causing in adulthood, on the short term and the long term. It affects them, their physical health. So when you see some people come down with diabetes, cancer, stroke, autoimmune disorders, we can see that the prevalence of autoimmune disorders is high now. Lupus and all the likes, rheumatoid arthritis. These are linked to there's a correlation between ACEs and these illnesses, and this is because over time the child is faced with this stress. I mean, I heard somebody talk about stress, how it helped him, how he's okay. Yes, we all went through stress. I did. There's something called positive stress. Our children waking up in Lagos, preparing for exams, that's stress. That's positive stress. There's an outcome, and it's a bit short-lived. And even when it's not short-lived, there's a support system. The parents are there helping them, validating them, nudging them to go on. There's also tolerable stress. It happens, it's brief, but it comes in abruptly, like the loss of someone, and with good coping mechanisms, the child bounces back and gets better, and it's like, oh, this thing never happened. And there's toxic stress. When this happens over and over and over again, stress hormones are activated and they're just there in circulation, affecting the brain, the child's developing brain, the immune system, and every part of the hormones as well. So this child in future is at risk for hypertension, diabetes, stroke, and autoimmune disorders, and a lot of other health issues apart from anxiety, depression, and many post-traumatic stress disorders, and a lot of suicide, of course, and a lot of other mental health disorders. So it is a great concern. We should, as parents, as a community, as a nation, give ear to our children and know that ACEs are a public health crisis.
Wow, there's a lot there. Ever since you introduced me to ACEs and then we started talking about it, see how I could enlighten the public, I've been a bit more careful with my daughter, and every other child I come across to gauge their feelings and all that. But I'll ask you that question about that later. But you talked about not just the psychological impact of this thing called adverse childhood experiences. And I was a bit surprised because I thought, it was just psychological. You're talking about diabetes and you're talking about other things. So you're saying that for any child to go through things like abuse, physical, verbal, sexual neglect, household dysfunction, domestic violence, and all these things you've said, that it can give them sickness.
It can give them even cancers.
How?
Yes, because like I said, when cortisol, the stress hormone, is activated, remember, okay, let me give you an example, a practical example. Growing up, I was terrified of masquerades. I was scared of masquerades.
You didn't like
and
Ekere, did you?
Yeah, my mom was from the south part of Nigeria. So every Christmas, they had this celebration. So I was morbidly afraid. So imagine that I would see this masquerade, and the first thing will be the fight, and flight mode. So my brain is, I'm scared. Let me fight, or I run, you know, and of course I will run, you know, and this happens. It happens spontaneously. It's abrupt. It's random. It's not all the time. Imagine that this masquerade lives with me in my house. Imagine that this millipede or whatever, this bear lives with me and is there for years. It builds up that fear. The fear center is activated. The bad hormone, not bad, but stress hormones are activated. And of course, when there's so much, it leads to toxic stress. I said that stress is not bad in itself. I mean, here or there, we need some form of stress.
There's some good stress.
Positive stress, yes, okay. And then tolerable stress. But when it's toxic, it affects the immune system, and it leaves the person at risk for these illnesses: diabetes, cancers, heart issues, name it. So, of course, you may want to imagine why these illnesses are on the rise. So we have to do our part, because the awareness is there. And I've said that this is a public health crisis. We all hands must be on deck to nip it in the bud.
All right, all hands must be on deck to nip it in the bud. If you have had any of these adverse childhood experiences, traumatic experiences, can you please call and then you can share with us. You can remain anonymous if you want to.
And the good thing is that there's help. So it's not like it's irreversible, especially when it's discovered. When you see the signs in your children. Can I go on with signs?
Yes, but just to call the phone numbers out: 0201 277 0993, 0201 277 0993. That's the general line. And female listeners can call that number, called special number 0201 465 7190. 0201 465 7190. I have some messages coming in. This one is sent in by I can't see anyone here. Tosin, okay, Manchester. Good to hear from you. Manchester. It says these childhood trauma / hardship. He's equating trauma to hardship, which may not be right. But it says can have varying effects on a child and eventually the adulthood. My mom kept passing me from person to person since I could walk. And I lived with 5 or 6 people. Some tried their best. Some were outright callous and wicked. I started fetching well water as early as 5 years old. Had an accident.
Neglect.
Had an accident when crossing a major road alone at 6 years. Almost lost an eye. But it's built me and made me swear never to let my kids live with anyone. Thank God my husband agrees. If Nagari I fit afford, we go eat them like that. And amigo fat pass. It's not certain what effect it will have later in their life. I made the better of it. Some might not be so lucky. So the guy who called in said that is not traumatic. He says it's the person where sabi waiting be trauma go say I'm traumatized. There's nothing traumatic about it, and he turned out okay. So what do you say to what she's saying?
Well, it depends. Okay, for her, there are times that I'm sure that she goes through her moments, and maybe at some point there was a community that helped. For example, the church, the religious community. Hope. It gives you hope, and to an extent, there's some form of therapy there because you see things from a different perspective. Imagine that you don't have any support. It takes a toll, and most times they say they don't want their children to go through all that, but you inadvertently they will put their children through. And I am happy you said what you said, because a lot of times the expectations are not realistic. Or because you were tough, you went through tough times, you expect your children to go through that, and that's putting them through unreasonable paths. Do you understand? So sometimes you think that you're not going through stuff, you're not going through the effects of your childhood experiences, but in actual fact you are. So
the key is identifying it, right? The key is in pinpointing
it. Yes,
pinpointing
it, and of course working on yourself, because sometimes if you identify it, some people get help. Some people, we live in. If you're in Nigeria, you know that we have a supportive network. So some people get help. Some people go to meet their pastors, imams, and speak up, and they just get.
And a lot of people just deal with it themselves.
Deal with it. And they think that some people think that they are okay, but emotionally, some of them are depressed. Some of them have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay, wow, PTSD.
Yes.
Please,
some of them have anxiety.
Let me pick this call. I'll come back to you.
And they live in denial, no insight.
I'll come back to you. 99.3, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Please, I would like to remain anonymous.
Yes, please. Please go on.
I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay.
So, concerning the topic, I think it affected me negatively. I grew up with my grandma. So, my mom took me to her when I was 3 years old. So, I grew up with her. I was with her alone. Though I do all the chores for her, we hawk, I sell. So, during the process, it makes me lack what my mates have. Sometimes I will be in need of cash. There won't be any for me. So it exposed me to all these Egbon Adubos. So in their hands, I have comfort. So they now started molesting me. Then I didn't see it as molesting because all I have, I'm getting from them. I didn't see it as anything. So at the age of 18, I got pregnant. So no one was aware, not even my grandma, not my mom. My mom come around once in a while. Let's say when there is any festival, that is the only when I will see my mom. Or whenever I felt ill, that is when my grandma will call her that your child is sick, will come and see her. So at 18 years, I got pregnant. So and I terminated it when I was 18. I was so naive, I didn't know anything then. I terminated it. At first, they were giving me drugs. So when the thing didn't drop, so the nurse that was taking care of me said that the drugs can't take care of it, that I will have to go for evacuation. So she took me for evacuation then. So now it's affecting my life. I've been trying to give birth since 2013. I'm married since 2013 now. And without anybody telling me, I know it's the evacuation, what is it called that I did, then see that is affecting my way now. And it's because of my way of living during my childhood. Nobody to put me through, nobody to say this is what to do, this is what not to do. Now it's affecting my life, and I'm deeply traumatized. Deeply traumatized now.
Doc, what do you have to say to her? Please stay on the line, please.
Sorry about what you had to go through. That's a case of neglect, emotional and physical, and it inevitably affects the individual in adulthood. I mean, in childhood and in adulthood. So I know what you're going through, and I would suggest that you see a doctor, a family physician, or a mental health physician. I mean, you have to be fine emotionally, and then you would now have the positivity to go through life and go through this phase. You would also need to be referred to or go see the gynecologist. Don't rule that out. Sorry?
I've been seeing gynecologist for ages now. In fact, I've done surgery 2 times. I was diagnosed of fibroid.
Okay.
So I did fibroid surgery 2 times in year 2020. So during this,
go ahead, please.
So I did fibroid surgery in year 2020. It was complicated. That where they do the fibroid, whenever I'm menstruating, blood will be leaking out from my abdomen. So after that, and still,
we'll talk about this later, okay?
She wants to be in touch with you, okay?
All right, ma.
Okay, all right. Thank you very
Sorry
much.
about your
experience, okay? So there we see you talked about the effects, being depression and all that. She may be going through that emotional, experience. 99.3. Good morning. Who do we have on the line, please?
Mr. Kofi, good morning.
Yeah, welcome. Yes, your name.
Hello.
Yes, your name, location, and contribution, please.
Mr. Jaboli, good morning to your guest as well.
Good morning.
Sorry about what happened to the last caller, but honestly, what you're saying this morning, childhood memories. I want to say at some point I had to confront that which caused me that traumatic experience growing up, because I discovered that I kept running from it for a very long time, especially when the person happens to be very close to you, and then you don't even know how to air your mind as a child. Only for you to grow up, you are acting defiant, you are acting all revved up, you just want to attack and attack and attack because of those things you've faced growing up. And so at some point I just had to confront the person that did that to me. Mine was basically physical abuse, constantly, and then I just had to confront. So I just want to ask, when you said we needed to, come to the place of therapy, my question is, how does someone that thing happened to, you said before 17, maybe before 18 years, 0 to 17 years, something you've lived with for a very long time. Some people are not able to confront their own fears or whoever caused them that pain growing up because out of respect and everything. A fish that has been dried for a very long time, you want to bend it, it will break. So I want you to just take people through the process of how do they confront their fears aside therapy and coming out of it so that they don't affect their children in future growing up. Because mine it was until I confronted my fears and the person that did that to me, because she was very close. I don't want to say who the person is, but you should understand. It was then I was able to grow out of it and wire myself and say, no, I won't train my children the way my own training went. I believe you understand my question.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Boli, with that question.
That's a very pertinent question. So it's important that we speak about it. And I hear people say, criticize victims or survivors when they want to say their story or share their story, and they say, why are you speaking up now? That's why they found courage to speak up. It's never late. Anytime, even if it's at old age, you find the courage to speak up. That's fine. I mean, there's a saying parlance that goes like, when you wake up now your morning. I mean, we say it all the time, and I think it applies here. When you come to realization, I think that's when your freedom comes. And I'm happy that you confronted the person. Sometimes this talk therapy is the best. Confrontations, you don't run away from it, because the person might have their own perspective. It might be from how they were raised. It might be from a place of love, in quotes. That person might be doing it from a place of, I hit you because I love you. I hit you. That's tough love. That's what they understand, their language, and they will apologize. And it may not completely solve the problem, but it gives some form of closure. So it's important that we realize it and speak to someone about it. Sometimes a problem shared is a problem half solved, especially when the person is a professional. And in Nigeria, or in this part of the world, we don't see therapy as the solution. But
so therapy is important.
Very important.
Because of time, let's quickly ask you, what can parents, teachers, and society at large, do to reduce the impact of ACEs on children?
First, with parents, create a safe space for your children to be themselves and protect them. I always say that children do not always need correction. They need connection, emotional and physical connection. They do not need perfection. They need protection. They do not need grievance. They need guidance. Be there for them. Don't give birth to children that you cannot take care of. You can't be taking your children to different places because you cannot take care. Try as much as you can. Like the speaker said, she would rather drink Gary with the penultimate speaker. She would rather drink Gary with her child than let her or let them go to different places. Be there for them and try to identify when there's an issue. For instance, your child that was boisterous, that was everywhere, starts being by themselves and not speaking to anyone, and there's an academic decline, there's withdrawal. You should be able to identify that there's a problem and talk to them or seek help.
Right. Doc, this matter is really deep, and we have to have you back maybe the upper week to talk some more about this. In fact, we'll have you back multiple times because it's so deep. everybody has one traumatic experience when child.
Yes, and the more the experiences,
Yeah.
the worse the consequence, or the more the risk of coming down with things that I mentioned.
Let's go pay our bills. When we come back, we'll just round off and say goodbye.
Every day when my children return from school, I don't recognize them. Hello, do I know you?
It's us, mommy.
But these dirty, sweaty uniforms and socks, we're clean in the morning. Everything don't transform. I understand though. School is hectic. It takes energy to come home this transformed. So I make sure they have some nutritious Milo at breakfast.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Relax, mama. I go clean all this your white clothes sharply.
I beg, no be to just, use hypo, come out all the stubborn stains.
Yes, so no grief for stains. Whiten your white with hypo.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.